From St. John Arena in Columbus, Ohio, welcome inside our coverage of the Ohio State Buckeyes and Penn State Nittany Lions.
You know, it's fitting that they get to close it down. St. John Arena has been around for 62 years. It's seen quite a lot of success.
Seven, six. Oh, what a pass! What a pass! Awesome!
Snyderman! Kyle Snyder!
When it comes to combining the history and tradition the building represents, look no further than Ohio State men's volleyball. When you talk about the people, the tradition, the excellence.
Scherzen for the win. There it is! And congratulations to Pete Hansen, his third national championship.
It's all here. So sit back and enjoy. They can't wait for you to meet them.
No digo conmigo, tú sabes, amigos, no Tony Montana, ni amigos, si tiros, mi casa, su caso, cuidado con el chico, tú quieres, le placa, yo tengo un perico. Ya te dije, el juego.
Son, you were saying something earlier. I couldn't hear it yesterday because it was in my throat. I heard something. Really important back on. It was really important. I said. What did you say? Oh.
And pause. That dude screaming his head off is senior Sunil Thomas. People call him Sonny. An all-conference setter, much like this scene right here, a lot revolves around him. You're going to meet him later. Great guy. And second pause. The guy about to burst through your screen is redshirt senior Blake Leeson. He's been named to the NCAA All-Tournament team twice, so you could say he's pretty good. You'll get to know him a bit too.
It's men's college volleyball tonight live on BTN+. Welcome inside our telecast, everybody. I'm Brendan Gulick alongside former Buckeye Dan Meskey. Thrilled to have you alongside for a big game tonight. The Buckeyes coming off a win last night in 3 sets in a row. A really impressive win to open the season against Charleston. This is the opener for Penn State. They're going to deal with a little nerves early on.
Number 1 in your program, don't know where he's going to be in your hearts after watching this, but that's Aaron Samarin. With the redshirt senior status comes veteran leadership as well as comparisons to JT Barrett with how long he's been here. Moving on.
The ball is up. Here we go. Opening game of the season for Penn State.
That 6'10 monster of an athlete is redshirt sophomore Jake Haynes. You look at Ohio State's stats after games, you'll usually find him responsible for most of their kills. He's the type of guy you'd find on Sports Science where John Brinkus would tell you he's got the wingspan of some asinine object like an army tank. Point is, he's pretty impressive when he's on his game, which unfortunately for Penn State tonight, he is.
1-0, trying to improve on it. They go right to their biggest weapon, Jake Haynes. Powers it over. A beautiful serve. That was kind of ridiculous.
Just a modest 67-mile-an-hour serve there.
Trying to follow it up. This time he goes soft. Nice serve.
That was a Greg Maddox changeup right there. If he can develop that, he might be one of the best servers in the country.
And it's an easy finish for the Buckeyes. What a start for the Ohio State Buckeyes. 25-13, dominating Penn State in the opening set.
We'll see if the Buckeyes can kind of pick up where they left off in the first set.
Penn State off to a much better start here in set two. Boy, the Nittany Lions are off to a great start in set two, 7-3. Ohio State throttled Penn State in the opening set. Not the case here in set two.
We do a better job of staying under control on a second touch off the block.
You find me somebody that embodies history around Ohio State more than Pete Hansen, and I'll probably call you a liar. Now in his incredible 35th season, Hansen is a major reason for what the program is what it is today.
Let's not just get real anxious and bang balls up in the air. Let's control it, get it in the middle of the court, and then run some offense out of it.
Send over from Gerwig. The point goes to Penn State.
Penn State has really pushed back and put some pressure on the Buckeyes here.
Lull them in too much. Penn State 25-20 in set two. And we are tied at 1 apiece.
Hey, we did a nice job of kind of fighting our way back into that thing, but we really hurt ourselves coming out of the gate. We had some defensive opportunities there at 3, 4, 5, and 6 that we just kind of crapped the bed on. I mean, we just didn't do a good job of communicating, making a good touch, getting it into the air, and then somebody taking a good swing at it. And we got down by 5 or 6, and then they can play pretty free. If we come out and be good in serve receive, coming out of the gate, get the ball in the box, make sure we're taking good swings. Hey, keep it tight, don't get behind by 5, and then you don't have to have so much pressure on your defense to get back into it. Come on, let's go. Let's get better. Let's go. Let's get better. Come on.
Here we go. Bucks on 3, 1, 2, 3. Bucks, 4, 5, 6. Come on, man.
Penn State gets rolling. McLaren will serve first. Set 3 underway. Haynes picks on McLaren. For whatever reason tonight, he has found solace in just blasting balls at both McLaren and Bantle. Thomas sets up Leeson, and Ohio State grabs it back.
End of the set, this is where Buckeye power comes into play.
Buckeyes jazz up the arena here in Columbus. Ohio State 25-21, and they take a 2-1 lead here at home. Ohio State has taken each of the last 2 points, and they still have a chance to win in 4. Penn State on their heels here as Skinner serves it away. It's in! It is perfect! What a serve! What a gutsy serve by Skinner. For the match. Roswell across. McLaren
There it is.
Blocked. It's over! The Buckeyes in 4 with 4 straight points. Take it 26-24.
Hey, first of all, congrats on a great win. You know, at times we played really, really good volleyball. At times we've played volleyball that we know we're better than. And we just got to keep grinding through those rough spots and make them shorter and shorter in duration, and the good spots longer and longer in duration. Kyle Skinner, great job. Great job to come in and serve. not easy under those conditions, and every ball was in, made a couple of digs, passed the ball, and that's good stuff. But that's what we expect, but that's what we need from guys. I mean, you can't get caught up in what the score is, what the situation is. You got to go through your routine, your skills, and let those things take over. Just let your instincts take over and keep playing the game. And if we can get to that point and play every point with that mentality, the game's going to just start to flow easier for you guys. It's not going to be such a grind where, and you make an error, gosh, put it to bed, walk away from it, and focus on the next play. We talk about the 3-second memory. It's got to be less than 3 seconds right now. Get rid of it, go on to the next play, and when we go on to the next play, go on to the next play aggressively, and make something good happen for us. Okay?
Here we go. Bucks on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Bucks!
4, 5, 6.
Come on, man.
Getting it done on and off the court, Sunil Thomas has gotten academic all-conference honors for the last 3 years. After knocking out class, it's off to St. John.
It's kind of crazy that it's already my 4th year of college. I heard going freshman year that it's going to fly by, but I really realize now that it's actually flown by, and it's crazy to think I only have 4 or 5 months left of this, and then who knows what the future holds. But I'm looking back at it right now. It's been an amazing ride. I've been grateful and blessed for everything that's happened to me these past 3.5 years. I just look forward to the next half a year that I can make it as good as the past 3.5. So it's just kind of surreal to me that it's all coming to an end.
A setter on the volleyball team is akin to the quarterback on your football team, the point guard on your basketball team, where he handles the ball in every play. We hope, anyway, if we can pass the ball to him. So he directs our offense. He has a direct correlation to the hitter's success or non-success. And so that individual has to have a lot of innate qualities. They have to be they have to be intelligent. They have to be dynamic. They have to be resilient. They have to be, empathetic to, maybe a guy struggling. Well, hey, don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. That wasn't the greatest set. That's on me. I'll get you a better ball. When maybe it was the best set that the guy got, and he just made a bad error. But a good setter will try to ease that pressure and take that responsibility. And Sunil does all of those types of things.
Sonny means a lot to this team. Sonny had a very interesting role. He's always been an exceptional player, and he, shadowed behind Christy Blau, our setter for the previous years, and was always waiting for his turn. And he's finally got this past year starting for the first time, and he's done an exceptional job. I think he's a great leader, and I think that his calmness and presence on the court is definitely what we need at that position. It's definitely what Christy was, and I think that he's doing a really good job trying to, move that forward and put his spin on it. So.
I'm gonna make sure everyone's decent in there first before you. This is the coach's office. So you'll see Mitch Lush here, Director of Operations. Probably one of the best in the business, but I don't know, I'm a little biased. There's Ben Wagner. He helps out our team. I don't know exactly what he does. No, I'm kidding. He does a lot. All right, well, then we go this way to the locker room. It's nice. We got that passcode. Can't let you see that, but just in case. All right. You go in here. And this is what you see. Looks a little like a dentist's office, but actually, is anybody in here? Because no one's in here. So this is just the kicking spot of our locker room, basically. So we always have the TV on, usually on some kind of sports channels. Right now, Tom Brady is Muhammad Ali. I want to say no to that, but that's just me. We usually, anytime we come in here, people are going to be sitting around, just kind of hanging out with chairs. We usually do team film here as well. So Coach puts his laptop on the TV and we could see game film and stuff like that. This is my locker. Yeah, I don't really know. This actually, I don't know if I want to talk about it, but this was actually made for me by one of our fans last year. I think he's like 8, 9, 10 years old. I don't know, in that vicinity. He made it for me after we won the MIVA tournament last year, or the MIVA tournament last year. So he made this and then gave it to me, and he actually made another one for one of our players last year, Maxime Mervor, but he's no longer with him. So I would keep this in my locker just so I see it, because I think it's pretty cool. I mean, at that age I probably couldn't do that with Legos. Plus, it just looks cool being number 1 and having it in your locker.
You know, they say find yourself someone like Kanye West loves Kanye West. Well, Blake Leeson loves Ohio State so much that when he found out a 5th year as a Buckeye was an option, he sprang on it immediately. He's taking in every last second during his final season in the Scarlet and Gray.
I started playing volleyball super late. I played football for the majority of my life, and I knew that I wanted to play sports in college. So I made the decision my junior year to quit football after probably 8 or 9 years of playing to play volleyball. And I started playing volleyball at the high school level in my junior year, which was my first year. And I wanted to play in college. Like I said, I wanted to play college sports, and I knew that football probably wasn't the route based on my body type. And sent out some videos with the help of some friends and some families to a bunch of coaches, and got some replies, and I ended up getting a visit here, and I just fell in love with the place and never looked back. When the coaches asked me if I wanted to play a 5th year, I jumped at the opportunity once I figured out I could make it financially possible with their help. But yeah, I don't want to let go of this place, but I know everybody has their time, and mine's coming up pretty soon here. But like I said, I wouldn't have had it any other way. This place has been absolutely incredible, and the people have been even better.
And let's really make sure we're in complete understanding of what the read blocking system is in perfect pass, okay? It's be as patient and wait as long as you can and just touch the ball, okay? Keep somebody from driving it down our back to where we can't dig it. Take away some court, however small it might be, but you haven't left and vacated that zone before the setter has set the ball, assuming something's going to happen that doesn't happen, and we at least touch it and get it up in the air somehow, some way, maybe on their side, maybe on our side, and we rally the ball. And then as the pass gets poorer and the sets get higher, then we're into the mindset of, okay, if I'm patient, I can make my big dynamic block moves and stuff balls, okay? But we've lost that concept of being patient, and we're trying to go fast in perfect pass and bad pass, and we're out of control, and we're not in a good spot. And our defense can't be set up all the time. And we're trying for stuffs when stuffs really aren't probably what's necessary. Okay? So let's just kind of understand. I mean, our expectations are, hey, if they're in dead perfect and we've got to defend 4 people, hey, it's their advantage, but if we can stay patient, at least touch it, we've won that battle. And then if our serve gets them off the net and we're in 2 pass or 1 pass, hey, then let's stuff that ball and win that point. Okay? Come on, Reese. Come on, Reese. We didn't control the ball and we didn't work hard in trans. Get off the net and kill it. Come on, you got to give it up, Rob. Keep it in. Bad set or not, it's got to be in. Can't be an unforced error. Come on, Marty. Come on, fellas, our concentration's got to be better here. Rob, are you trying to kill it or are you trying to just get it in? Okay, then get it in. But it looked to me like you think you can kill that ball at 15 feet off when you're hitting it from here. Hey, come on, keep your balance. Come on, just stay balanced. Hey, Kyle, your communication is, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out. I mean, you got to let your setter know you're not working hard in trans, and that's a tough move to go from there to there.
The biggest thing as coaches is we have to be patient with them as well. And that's one of the messages that we tried to reiterate to them over the weekend was, look, we're going into a top 5 programs gymnasium in BYU that supports their team in a awesome manner. 4,500 fans there for their opening night match against us. Has played in the national championship twice against Stanford, who's always perennially a top 10 program. What the message was, hey, we're not going to win a national championship in January, but we can prepare to get better to be at that point maybe at the end of the season. And those experiences in those 2 gymnasiums, even though they were losses, we're able to come back with a lot of teaching moments. We had some things exposed in terms of, hey, what do we need to focus on to get better? Our serving has to get more consistent. Our middle attacking with Blake and Austin Gerwig or Jamie Wolmering has to get a little more dynamic. We need to get more offense out of those guys. And I think if we can keep everybody moving forward on the same page, we're going to be a factor at the end of the year. And that's kind of how we try to structure our training and our program is that, hey, you want to be playing your best volleyball in April and May when the important things are happening. A win in January is nice, but the wins are bigger and they mean more in April and May. And so, hey, let's make sure we're preparing for those as much as we would have loved to have won at BYU or at Stanford. And the big picture is it's more important what we do at that point in time in late April.
Hey, the theme for the next few days and the next couple weeks is we have to continue to get better at the things that are going to help us beat some teams. Serving the ball in, getting in a good spot as a blocker, working hard on defense, getting the ball up, transitioning. You know, I'm not worried about the offensive part, the pass set hit part. We've got to get better at some other things. And we've got to have a higher level of focus the next couple of days going into Friday night, okay? So if we can do that, Friday night will be a good night. You know, I know it's been a long road trip for 15 of you guys. Hey, get some sleep tonight, get ready to go. Let's make tomorrow a better day, all right? Come on, let's go.
Bucks on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Bucks, 4, 5, 6.
Come on, man.
I mentioned at the top of this thing that this team is the one closing down St. John. Well, they're the last team to have a full season in this building. And come this time next year, the Buckeyes will be in their new home, the Covelli Center, right down the street. The 3,700-seat arena will be the home to 7 Buckeye varsity sports: volleyball, gymnastics, fencing, and wrestling. And in addition, it's going to serve as the occasional venue for women's basketball, as well as serving as the host site for local tournaments and camps. It is going to be beautiful. As high as the program has climbed, Covelli will take OSU men's volleyball to new heights.
The things that the Covelli is going to offer are just, better and more modern meeting spaces and just basic kind of quality of life amenities in terms of the locker room, in terms of the training room, the rehab center. And then I think there's going to be a lot of video technology that is going to be introduced into the building that's going to help us in our training with our team, where we can have literally instant video replay during a practice.
maybe we'll be able to delay it a few seconds, and a young man can go through a certain repetition, whether it's serving or passing or digging or blocking, and turn around and watch a monitor and see him perform that skill, and we can critique it and give him some immediate feedback. We've kind of done that with some, shall I say, some by hook or by crook here at St. John Arena, but what's going to happen at the Cabelli is going to be state of the art. And so those things are all just, every piece is just going to be an enhancement from where we are right now. And I would hesitate to say that when that building opens and our guys get in there full time, it'll be probably the finest training facility for a men's collegiate volleyball team in the country at the present time.
Don't go too hard, Jamie. Oh, I got a scratch. Anything but to avoid abs.
What do you mean? It's not even abs.
Have you seen my abs? I don't have them, so what difference does it make? What I know what abs are.
Remember when LeBron James took his talents to South Beach and told everyone he was going to win not one, not two, well, you know the rest? Meet assistant coach Kevin Birch. I brought up LeBron's speech because unlike the King, Birch actually has won not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, but 7 straight national championships. Wherever the guy goes, he wins, period. What started at OSU as a volunteer assistant coach has come full circle, and his knowledge of the game is second to none.
So the moves I've seen on tape with you on the left is you have less space to cover, so you are often early, even more so on the right, because you have less space to cover. So anyway, with this, just really, yep, exactly. Be late on those block moves, if anything.
Gotcha.
Good, atta boy. And that's kind of that's why I push you more so than anything to get to wait, because when you wait longer, you get further across and not nearly as high. It's good stuff. By the time you make contact, it's enough behind you that you have to go here, right? So then it makes your elbow go flat. If the toss is in front, it's easier to go here and go into it. Yep. Boom. See how much different that ball flight is? I still think you can get your elbow back more, but it was a lot better. And it's just like jump spin serving, right? If the toss is in front, then it makes all the technique really hard.
I just want to clarify with you something that Austin said. Make sure it made sense. Okay. So
I think I'm out. Okay.
On the set, like obviously we want to wait until the setter makes contact, but as soon as we see that it's a high set, don't try and cross over. Here,
but you can,
I need to make that shot.
So let's say let's say it's beyond, like right here and it's short side.
Yeah.
I want you to shuffle to start, knowing that if it's faster than you think, then we can cross over once we see the tempo of the set. But I want us to shuffle first to get a rhythm for it, right? Ideally, if we can shuffle, I'd rather shuffle, because what happens, what I don't want is if we end up waiting on the crossover and then making a late move, it's going to open up that gap.
To avoid that.
Right.
By doing that. Okay.
So anytime that you have the time to pause to cross over, that's when we should shuffle.
Okay. So no matter what, as soon as I see that it's going to be like a high set, it's not going to be a quick, or even there's a chance that it will be, get that shuffle. And then if it's really quick.
Exactly. Like it's fast to the short side.
Quick, it's another little shuffle, wait, and then go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. But just trust the fact that if as we shuffle this way, you only have that much room to cover, and we can do that.
It's got to be a short, little, close step.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, great question.
Knowledge of the game aside, he always finds time to keep things loose during a long season.
Just before contact, too. Like you're making your move forward.
Glove saving a butte. Just make it easier on yourself. Why be a little bit more still. Trust your ability. Holy smokes. I didn't have time for my life to flash before my eyes. I'm not even talking smack to you. What the heck, man?
Sick, coach.
Yeah, but at the digger, not me.
I don't have any accuracy.
I bet you BYU and Stanford would beg to differ.
You smell bad.
I do?
You smell awful.
Oh, thanks. Well, I think sometimes it can be really, really easy to just be in a coach-athlete relationship where you're just kind of on them. And I think it's important to show them who you really are, and be yourself, so that they can be themselves and be a little bit loose too. It's about business, but at the same point in time, this is a profession and a situation for the student athletes where it's those personal and professional lines, they blur to a certain extent. You can't be all business all the time. You gotta show them that you care. You got to show them that, you know, the person that you really are, and I think that's the most important part about it.
Oh, look out! We're filming.
We're
filming
snowball fights. So candid.
What are you?
Why OSU? When I came on my visit, like, the personalities on the team just kind of align with mine. I'm kind of a goober, and I feel like everyone else on the team is pretty much just as goober as I am, so like kind of fit in well.
Aaron is just out of this world weird. I don't even know, but in a good way. I think my first interaction with Aaron Samarin when I came freshman year, I walked into the locker room and everyone just, you know, talking and whatever, and then Aaron makes this stupid joke and laughs, like his does a stupid laugh, whatever, and then he then continues. Then right after he makes the joke, he gives us like, he dabs up his locker, his own locker. So he like basically gave his locker a handshake. And I saw that and I was just like, what? I was like, who is this kid? Like, why is he, like, what is wrong with him? Whatever.
I mean, there's one time when I tickled Sunil and he puked afterward all over his bed. That was gross, but at the same time pretty funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to hear that one. Middle is front versus front one and push. Read one step versus 31. Quicken right side, heavy offense. Stay neutral with pass to zone 2.
So what happens if there's a front one that's run right at the left front blocker? What are we doing?
Hold neutral.
Within one step, right? Yeah. Trust the fact that we have our left front blocker staying in our bunch and being patient, we can get a good touch on it. Same thing with the 31s. We're going to be staying neutral either way. If they're beating us pretty routinely, I think we can maybe take an adjustment step, but Payne is going to hit pretty hard wrist away either way. So I don't think we have to be that close to him on the 31s. But again, a big part of that is the bunch blockers holding their position and staying disciplined. Okay? This is one of the very few true high balls. I mean, when Volleyball Michigan coded it, they only had like 3 or 4 high balls in the 2 matches this last weekend. And they're out of system more often than not, but like I said, they are going fast. Shocker, disciplined bunch. They're going to test it. I can't say that enough. The more stressed we get, the more disciplined and patient and relaxed we have to be. I think one thing that we struggled with a little bit against Stanford is when we were most susceptible to not getting in a good starting position, it was in transition as the rallies went on. So whether it's liberos or whoever it is, yelling reset as quickly as we possibly can because the tempo is going to be coming back at you pretty fast. Okay? Killer instinct, but not being over anxious. Kind of what Coach talked about at the end of the Stanford match. Understand that we can be aggressive, but it doesn't mean we can get over anxious the first 2 steps of your approach, getting tight to the net, moving on defense, those types of things. We have to understand what over anxious means, what doing too much is, and be able to stay patient when we need to be patient, and understand when we can be explosive. Okay? Any questions?
Bucks on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Bucks. 1, 5, 6. Come on, man.
From St. John Arena on the campus of Ohio State University, men's volleyball matchup between the number 11th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes against a very strong George Mason Patriots team. Sunil Thomas will put the ball in play. They work it on the right, and that ball cross court goes wide from Lalaman. And 4 consecutive points for George Mason after Ohio State got the early jump. And a roll shot from the back row finds the floor as Hayden Wagner scores to make it 11-8 for George Mason. Lalaman is there to pass it, and a good combined block put up by Langston Payne and Luis Velez. Right when it looked like Ohio State had taken the lead on that serve, then they reversed the call, and now George Mason is up 2 again with timeout on the floor.
If we're going to get in, be patient with our blocking. Once we get there, let's be aggressive and finish for the purpose of stuffing the ball. Okay, now, come on. Let's go, let's do it.
And Hayden Wagner puts the punctuation mark on it, and George Mason has won the first set here. More critical for the Buckeyes, and they start quickly with a kill by Blake Leeson. Out wide, and Skinner, and he elevated very high and came up with a big kill to make it 4-1. And here's a powerful topspin serve that goes for the ace.
Right now we've got 6 guys. They're just kind of playing. One guy does his thing, one guy does his thing. Hey, you need to be connected right now. If we have a little bit more emotion and a little bit more involvement in what we're doing, I think that's going to help us get through the errors. It's going to help us stay engaged, and it's going to turn into a pretty fun event. So we need to do that. Okay? Be patient as an attacker. You see an open shot, hit an open shot hard. Okay? So what if they dig one? Over time, you're going to kill more balls than they're going to kill. Okay? Let's go.
Let's go. Keep it going, keep it going. Where we left off.
Bucks on 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 4, 5, 6. Come on, man.
And there's an ace, perfectly placed serve for Hayden Wagner. And George Mason moves on top 2-1. If Ohio State's going to prevail tonight, it's going to have to be in 5. It ends in a rather fitting way, the way this match has gone, with a Buckeye service error, and they drop the 4th set 25-11. George Mason breaks the 16-match losing streak to Ohio State.
Pop quiz, boys and girls. You just lost at home to a team you'd previously beaten 16 times in a row. What's your plan the next day? You put on a show.
The 3-time national champion Ohio State Buckeyes looking to recover from a tough loss to George Mason yesterday as the Erskine Flying Fleet descends into St. John Arena. Ball here. And look at Skinner get up in the air. Skinner got it. Back, and Haynes on the right this time scores on the line shot, so he scored cross court. Now he goes down the line. Here's their chance to go after a free ball with the match in the balance, and they're not going to deny Haynes that way. So that is it, 25-17.
Ohio State men's volleyball is one heck of a group to be around and to be a part of. As veterans play their final sets, youth will emerge. As an old home fades, a new one is on the horizon. The people, the tradition, the excellence. It's all here.
Ohio State's been family. I grew up with Ohio State within my family. My grandpa grew up here in Ohio, and he got his bachelor's, master's, and PhD. There we go, all from Ohio State. So I grew up an Ohio State fan in California. We went to all the football games, the alumni club in Southern California, and then I came here, and everybody was like my family. You know, it was a lot like my grandparents, and it was a lot like the upbringing that I had in California. When I transferred here from a junior college in Southern California, it was the only school I applied to. It was the only place I wanted to go. It was home from the get-go. And then when I kind of started my coaching career, went from place to place to place, Pete called, and it was a no-brainer. It was the easiest choice I could make. So it was, you know, it wasn't a tough decision to come here. It's never a tough decision to stay here. It's family and it's home.
I wanted to be able to step in as a coach and continue the tradition that Ohio State had. I competed against Ohio State way back in the dark ages when I was a college volleyball player. And Ohio State was the premier program in the MIVA at the time, along with Ball State. But Ohio State was the first Midwestern school, or I should say first school outside of the state of California, to get to the championship match in the NCAAs, and that happened back in 1977. And so Ohio State kind of set the standard that volleyball isn't only just played on the West Coast and dominated by the West Coast, that they had put together a group of young men that were good enough to compete for a national championship. And that was my era, and I saw those guys, and I played against those guys, and so I knew what they were all about. And when I had a chance to come here and coach, the goal was to get a team back to that stage at some point in time. To me, it was just a validation to all those people that had gone through the program that Ohio State can be a leader in this sport. And I was just kind of lucky enough to be in the chair that helped it move along, I guess, and work towards that.
I think the best part is you are a part of a culture and a program and a school that has such a great history and such a great legacy that it's just an honor to walk around campus and walk these halls every day with the people that came before you in both volleyball and all the other sports. So I think that is by far the best part for me. The tradition, as cliche as it sounds, is huge. And every time I step on campus, and especially the first time I step on campus, I just get goosebumps just walking around with all the team spirit on college game days, for football to just individual sporting events. So I'd say that's by far the best part.